Salutations, my fellow dandies. I'm not on screen, but it's me, Jack Dandy. And we are back in Final Fantasy XIV. I forgot in my tiredness to actually set up YouTube Studio. Hang on. I knew there was something missing. I normally do a checklist before I go stream. And I thought, yeah, no, this is fine. This is a very scuffed stream already. I'm starting like at 10:15, which is always a good sign. Apologies for lateness. I'll explain why I'm late when I set up. Salutations for us, the Jack Free stream. What is this madness? I know. I will be here in a second. I just need to position myself. Hang on. That's me in the corner. And then I need to make my face turn on. You've seen a little bit of how the sausage is made now. There we go. And that hasn't broken Elgato? Good. Okay, sometimes that breaks the game capture doing that. And I'm glad to see that didn't do that. Yeah, I'm very tired. I have a tradition which was started by my dad, that we eat fish on a Friday. I didn't have any fish in the house today, so I ordered fish and chips. And I ordered fish and chips from a place I hadn't ordered fish and chips before. Now, I didn't order anything like exotic. I ordered fish, chips, curry sauce. Basically, like what I always order. I don't know what it is. Something in that order has disagreed with me in a major way. I had a stomach ache all afternoon, and then I went to sleep to try and sort of shift it. And I woke up at like, I don't know, like 45 minutes ago, and I still feel terrible. I normally have like a really strong stomach. I don't get like stomach aches. I can normally eat whatever crap I find lying around. I do very good in an apocalypse, I think. So yeah, I don't know what they did. I don't know what they put in the batter of the. It must be the batter of the fish, or something. So I'm not my A game today, but I am here, and we're back in Final Fantasy XIV after a brief break after finishing Shadowbringers, because I wanted to play a bit of Final Fantasy XVI. It's true. See when you go for the crane games, exactly. You know that I can wolf down any sort of crazy tinned. I'm pretty sure dog food. Like I'm generally fine. It doesn't. But yeah, it's just for whatever reason this hasn't. There's something in whatever I ordered didn't agree with me. Maybe it was the curry sauce. I always find that curry sauce is one of those things that. Is this a person? Oh, it is a person. Okay. I always find that curry sauce is one of those things that, like, wildly fluctuates depending on the place you order it from. Anyway, point is, we're back in Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to start doing the post-Shadowbringers quest. However, there are two things to do first. First of all, there's the Make It Rain campaign has started again, which I think is quite short, but I get a little minion for doing it, and it's a minion of Godbert Mandeville, so we've got to do it. And then I've also got the Red Mage level 80 quest, which I haven't done. So we're going to do that as well. And then we'll do some Shadowbringers. So, yeah, let's do that. Like I said, I'm on my A game today. I think I've got everything set up properly. I got the right glasses on. Yeah, there we go. I got my drinks. Oh, so I live and breathe. Is that Jack? What a pleasant surprise. I have met Kippy Jack here before, and I can't remember. Maybe she was in the last year's event. Is Brother Nagy well? Jack remembers her, even if I don't. How did you know my brother? I don't recall telling you his name. Now you mention it, he did recently send me a letter. Oh, this is no time to be speaking of such things. I'm in need of help to write my latest piece, and since fortune has placed you before me, I wonder if you wouldn't lend me a hand. Sure, I've got nothing else to do. Your contribution shall be much appreciated, I'm sure. Now then, the matter at hand is his invitation, which was sent to the Raven officers from the Gold Saucer. We've been asked to write a piece on the festivities currently underway at the establishment. Naturally, oh, my voice is already hoarse. How has this happened? Naturally, as the Raven's most senior reporter, I was chosen for this privileged task. I carry the reputation of my publication on my shoulders, and there's no shame in recruiting an assistant or two with whom to share their weight. I need someone with keen skills of observation and a dazzling insight. Judging by our previous adventures, there's none more suited for this task than you, dear Jack. So how about it? Can I count on you? Yeah. Very good. Well then, let's depart to the Gold Saucer at once. The invitation states that a member of the staff awaits our arrival at Entrance Square. I think last year's one I didn't do on stream, and it was a murder mystery one. I didn't do it on stream because I kept putting it off, and then I was going to miss doing it. That's how I teleport. It was really good. It was brief, but it was fun. I think we're trying to find who stole a cactuar or something. No, it was a guy dressed in one of this cactuar suits who was accused of stealing something. Anyway. There you are, adventurer. Let's not keep our host waiting. Ah, you must be from the Raven. Allow me to welcome... I just realised I've just got the... I don't normally have FF14 background audio that loud. There you go. Ah, you must be from the Raven. Allow me to welcome you personally to the Gold Saucer. Oh, I did not expect to see you there, Master Dandy. You're always welcome as our honoured guest. I'm a pretty big deal. Ah, an honoured guest, is it? Seems I've picked the right adventurer for the job. Master Dandy is helping you? Well, I must say this gives the Raven a significant advantage. The special time event has concluded. We look forward to your participation. Sorry, that's a different thing. With your arrival, all of our guests are present. Now, if I could have but a moment of your time. Oh. Is it compulsory for people in the press to wear those hats with the big feathers in? Is that in case they need to write something down really quickly? They've always got like a quill to hand. Illustrious reporters of Eorzea, I welcome you all, one and all, to the Gold Saucer. My name is Olia, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as an attendant here. As you are well aware, we are currently holding our most fabulous event of the year, the Make It Rain campaign. During its duration, guests may receive up to 50% more MGP, a currency which can be exchanged within these gilded walls for a bevy of fantastic goods. People of all stripes pour into the Gold Saucer during this event, eager to take their piece of the generous bounty we offer. Yeah. However, some in Eorzea have yet to grace us with their patronage, which is some people don't want to gamble, and we don't understand why. Which is why we've invited the most esteemed reporters in the realm to partake in our festivities, and prepare sizable compensation for your resulting articles. Oh, I didn't notice the little one at the end there. Of course, a simple tool would hardly suffice to satisfy such curious minds as yours, so we have taken the liberty of preparing a little diversion for the occasion. We have to do like an escape room. Oh, it's a tiny Godbert. Behold, this masterful mammoth, made in the precise likeness of Godbert Mandeville. We have hidden 4 throughout the Gold Saucer, 1 in each section, excluding Chocobo Square. We tried to put one in the Chocobo Square, but it freaked the Chocobos out, and we couldn't figure out why. Doesn't matter, and they're fine with all the other mammoths, but for some reason this one just set them off. Use your keen reporter sense to seek them out, and to find the one who finds the most mammoths. We shall reward an exclusive interview with the man himself, President Godbert Mandeville of Mandeville and Mandeville, famed goldsmith and proprietor of dreams. I'm like, I've spoken to Godbert numerous times. I think I have him on speed dial in my link shell. Because there are some not good at jumping puzzles earlier. Exactly. It's like, you know, that's... there's plenty of reasons why you wouldn't want to come to Gold Saucer. I mean, I come to Gold Saucer because I love gambling, but it's loud, it's brightly coloured. You know, I could absolutely see me getting a migraine here just from the noise of all the machines in the background. Oh, I didn't read that. I think it said no paper has ever secured an interview with Godbert Mandeville. He's right. An interview with Godbert Mandeville would draw more eyes to the Raven than the news of any other calamity. This isn't a competition to be taken lightly. The reward is worthwhile, to be sure, but both Master Thurl and I have come here alone, while the Raven seems to have sent 2 reporters. I propose that the Harbour Herald and the Mithril Eye join forces. That would even the odds enough, methinks. I've no objection to that. To the winners go Mandeville's secrets. To the losers, pitiful ignorance. Let's keep our eyes well peeled, adventurer. I mean, I could just ask Mandeville, Godbert. I mean, I'm friends with his son. We're pretty tight. I could just... No? Right. Then let us make an addendum to the rules. In the case both teams find the same number of mammoths, the swiftest to return will be judged the victor. Now, let the mammoth hunt begin. Search every corner of our establishment, and may you find the bounties you seek. But yeah, it's true of real casinos as well. Like, I'd like to go to Las Vegas just once, just because, you know, it's in the movies and stuff, to do some gambling. But the noise and all the sounds and lights and all the flashing lights, I feel like it's one of those things where I just be like, okay, I'm over this after like 2 hours. If there are 4 wind-up Godberts sitting out there, we should each search for 2. If you take Wonder Square and Round Square, I'll cover the remaining 2 sections. An equal division of labour. If anything happens, we can stay in touch through this link pool. Now let's find those mammoths and win that interview. I have a feeling that I'm going to be finding all 4 of these. I don't know why. Not that I distrust her, Kipper's, whatever her name is, you know, ability as a reporter, but her ability as a... Oh, I'm here. Hang on. No, maybe I shouldn't be talking shit about... Oh, that's the tournament. Oh, they're located... Okay, maybe I shouldn't be shit-talking other people's ability to find things. I can't even see the giant red circles. So don't I literally just have to run around and find the thing hanging around somewhere? Am I literally playing hide and seek with a tiny buff man? Well, it wouldn't be the first time. Now, if I was a tiny... Oh, there it is. Oh, that answers that question. Bad news, adventurer. Sims wasn't quite quick enough to find the mammoth in Entrance Square. Please tell me you're faring better than I. Yeah, I did it. You found one? Thank goodness. We're still in the running. I'll make haste to Event Square. Godspeed in finding your final mammoth. Oh, maybe I do only have to find 2 then. Like a no paper is talk from, but we are butts. Well, this is it. It's like... I think I'm mostly friends with Godbert through his son. So maybe that's the trick. Maybe they should have gone to him through Hildebrand. You know, when he's available and not amnesiac. Everyone's staring at this wall, which makes me think this will be important later. Or is that where the guy appears when the... That might be where the guy appears when the thing's turned on. It's probably going to be in the middle, isn't it? It's probably not going to be just hanging around the edge. Oh, that someone sat down with the thing behind them. That's confusing. trying to remember when else did Godbert sort of appear during the plot? Can I get up there? This is quite a small room to hide a mammoth in, and oh yeah, in Stormblood when you go and see him with yeah, when you go and see him with Princess What's Her Chops. The one who the one who isn't Tataru. Oh, I'm bad at remembering names at the best of time. My brain's not. How do I get onto that? I don't think I can. So then, he must just be hanging out somewhere. Is someone like sat on him? Someone like being a dick and like covering him up or something? Have you seen a tiny buff man? The one was really obvious. I wonder where it is. Hey, Sabotage Stratus. I'm just trying to track down a tiny buff man. So, you know, business as usual. Oh. Okay, well there it is. Because it's the only... Oh, it's up on the... That guy did know where it was. He was hiding it. It's up on the light. Yeah, we did speak to Godbert as part of non-Hildebrand stuff, so... I mean, I guess if I was doing this as like a, you know, fresh level 15 who hadn't done any story quests, then maybe, I wonder if his expression changes, or whether he's just like, I don't know who that is. Adventurer, good news this time. I found the mammoth in Event Square. Oh, cool. We found 3 then. You found yours too? Then it's settled. That interview is mine. Oh, it's ours, of course. Must report our victory to Ollier at once. See you at Entrance Square. Can't remember your freaking FF14 bastards getting knocked out of my account. Well, I'd have some sympathy for you if you didn't have 20 accounts. I have 1 account. PS5 remembers my password for me. I don't have to type it in. Welcome back, Mistress Jackia. Oh, welcome back. Welcome back. Mistress Jackia has informed me that you were able to find 2 mammoths. Yeah. Indeed, exactly 2 likenesses. The final results are as follows. 3 mammoths found by the reporters of the Raven, and 1 mammoth by the reporters of the Mithril Eye and the Harbour Herald. Which means that the Raven shall be rewarded with an exclusive interview with Lord Mandeville. Congratulations to you both. Yay, I'm happy for you. Look at this lukewarm fist pump that I'm doing for you. Once you have sufficiently prepared yourselves, simply speak to me and I shall summon him forthwith. Just claps his hands and Godbert appears in a puff of smoke. I trust you are ready for the interview. I shall call upon Lord Mandeville, so please wait here until his arrival. As for the Harbour Herald and the Mithril Eye, I ask that you follow me. While none are as knowledgeable as Lord Mandeville, our staff shall do their utmost to guide you upon an educational and, dare I say, entertaining journey of the Gold Saucer. Which means to say, we'll take you to the bar and you can have free drinks. So write nice things about us, even though you failed our competition. Now, if you'll excuse me, I shall go to the horn, which I shall blow to summon Godbert. Ho ho ho! Apologies for the wait. I take it you're the eagle-eyed reporter from the Raven. Accompanied by none other than my old friend Jack, I see. You haven't decided to doff the mantle of adventure in favour of a reporter's quill and ink, have you? Lord Mandeville, 'tis a pleasure to make your personal acquaintance. My name is Kippy Jack here, the Raven, and I have the honour of penning this exclusive interview with your esteemed personage. This adventurer was kind enough to assist me on this project, so please consider him a temporary member of our staff. Wait, did you say old friend? Hi. Very good, very good. I'm overjoyed to host you both at my darling gold saucer. Naturally, I expect some initial awkwardness as I become accustomed to the process, but I shall do my utmost to bear both body and soul to your inquiries. Ask away. Sometimes I dress up as Santa and interact with him during Christmas as well. We have gone on several dates. It has been delightful. Your candour is much appreciated, Lord Mandeville. Now then, perhaps you might share with us some exclusive details regarding the Gold Saucer's creation. Oh ho ho, a simple question. I thought you might ask me to divulge the secret of my family's peerless beauty, which has been carefully guarded for generations. Well, I intend to get there in time, of course, but the objective of my article is to convey the charm of your establishment to my readers, and where better to start than with the tale of its inception. Only a reporter most masterful looks past the beauty of the man to the beauty of what he has wrought. How delightful indeed. Come, allow me to give you the grand tour whilst answering your question with pomp and circumstance. Am I the pomp? Who are you going to be circumstance? Okay, let's go. Let us head for the FFXIV Plaza, which rests in the heart of the Gold Saucer. From there I shall guide you and show you why House Mandeville's ingenuity knows no equal. Sadly, we are equaled, many surpass us in our ability to pronounce words. So, it all started with a game called Final Fantasy VII. In a little place called Mount Coral. I had a brief, I don't know how to describe it. Like a brief, just that's exciting. Oh, no, it's not. I saw, just literally as I was clicking to go start stream today, that the Ever Crisis early access, closed beta, started. But I think it's only on Android, and I haven't been invited. So, I couldn't do it. Which is a shame, because if I'd been invited, we'd absolutely be streaming that today instead. Because I think it does the Reactor 7 and the new, Reactor 7, basically the opening dungeon of Final Fantasy 7, plus the first chapter of the new story, which is like the Sephiroth prequel, I think, which has some new characters. But more importantly, we could have done some gacha and seen if we get Cloud a cool hat. So, sorry, I didn't get selected for the closed beta and that I have an iPhone. Some of the following events cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending Duty Finder registrations. So, okay. Begin the tour. Yes. Allow me to welcome you anew to the Gold Saucer. I, Godbert Mandeville, am at your complete disposal. Simply tell me where you wish to go and you shall have my personal escort. Can we play some Triple Triad? Card Square isn't an option. Entrance Square, then. Let's start at the beginning. Five years after the seventh Umbral Calamity ravaged Eorzea, the Gold Saucer rose from the sands of Uldar, serving as a beacon for all in the realm who sought leisure and diversion. Like literally, or did you just that's just a fancy way of saying you built it in a desert? For the Calamity had dealt the city-states a grievous blow, and each and every citizen had worked tirelessly to see their homes healed. I built the Gold Saucer to be a place where the beleaguered could forget their worries for a time, and remember the feeling of a smile upon their faces. Also, it helps me keep an eye on the ruby weapon. A noble purpose, to be sure, especially considering the amount of your own wealth you poured into reconstruction efforts. To build a legendary monument of recreation during... recreation. Recreation is something else. Recreation during such trying times must have been a challenge, considering the resources and manpower necessary for such an undertaking. Salutations, Brian. Make as much gear as I can. I mean, it's actually like really hard to lose money in the Gold Saucer. You really have to go out of your way to lose money in the Gold Saucer. I suppose it is kind of... No, you do have... I was going to say it's kind of like those arcades where you play for tickets and then trade in the tickets for something that's like worth a fraction of the cost that you've spent. But it's all Disney bucks, and they don't let you spend that much money. It's really like... I don't understand how the Gold Saucer makes any money whatsoever. I think it's like the cinema, where the actual experience doesn't make many money, but they make most of their money on like food and drinks. Because it's the only thing I can think of that actually costs any money. Thinking of building a prison soon under us. What do you all think? And a train! A train that will take you to and from. What's a train? No, actually, they do have trains in Eorzea. They've been train stations. But that is exactly why it had to be done. To give work to hands robbed of purpose by disaster, robbed by purpose by disaster, and thereby construct the backbone of a thriving economy. I really struggled with that one. I owe a great debt to each and every person under my employ. It was only by their hard work and diligence that the Gold Source was able to aid Eorzea in her time of need. I think Dio and Seven just wanted to attract as many handsome young men as possible. I think that's probably one of Godbert's aspirations as well. As the cactus weathers hot desert climes, so too did my workers preserve with indefatigable spirit. For this reason, I chose the Sabo Tender as our mascot, with the appellation Senor, as a sign of respect for their contributions. And so I could give them little hats. All of that being said, the Gold Saucer is no charity. Quite the opposite, in fact. I mean, that's not true. You give away so much more money than you take in. An operation of this magnitude would soon shrivel in the sun without the steady flow of profit. Or maybe the fact they give away so much fun bucks is exactly... Because, I mean, that's the only thing you could win is more fun bucks. And then you spend them on things... Yeah, it basically is like a big arcade. I guess it's like they give you loads of... The loads of the currency so that just kind of keep you involved. And it's like, well, you know, if they're here all day and night, they're going to have to eat and drink and sleep somewhere. There's much more I could say on the matter, but alas, we only have so much time. Let us return to the Aetheryte Plaza and perhaps consider a change of scenery. I can't tell. Do they keep the FF7 Gold Source music? I think it's in places. I think it's like the event music. I don't hang around the Gold Source very much. It's not the main thing, I don't think. But I am terrible with music, so don't quote me on that. I think they use it for the events themselves, but... Oh, I'm really looking forward to going to the Gold Saucer in the remake next year. Because I'm pretty sure, depending on, I suppose, the sequence of events, I'm pretty sure we go to Mount Coral and do all of that stuff next time. Because they've shown Bugenhagen, so we go to Nibelheim. And Nibelheim's after the Gold Saucer, I think. Pretty sure. Ho ho ho. Round square, yes. So famous for, this thing. Ah, yes, of course. Mount Coral soars majestic over its domain. Have you ever seen its like before? Like the Godbot was like, what did I put in here? I wager you haven't. For this peak that countless visitors climb and ascend daily is a construction of my imagination. Do you know what inspired me? Inspired? This was fashioned based on a model. And it was. But I'm not surprised the name wouldn't ring familiar. Mount Coral appears in a classic tale I used to enjoy immensely as a young lad. As a mountain that fed a booming mining industry, he did copy it from Final Fantasy VII. You can see how it would inspire the liberal use of explosives for this attraction. We procure our bombs from goblin artisans, thereby extending a unique commercial opportunity to merchants who might otherwise be shunned or feared by others. Naturally, we need to ensure the explosives would create a thrilling spectacle without risk of injury. I myself spent many a day testing the efficacy of a variety of blasting powders upon my person. Oh, to be so young again. Oh, God, but yeah, Dandy's used to this by now. It's just like, yeah, no, he blows himself up occasionally. Don't worry about it. He is functionally invulnerable. Alas, although I could expound upon this topic for moons, I'm sure your readers wish for an article as varied as the saucer itself. Let us return to the Aetheryte Plaza and consider where we might go next. Oh, it is. It goes Coral Saucer, Nibelheim Rock. Oh, I see. You're talking about the order in Final Fantasy VII. Yes. Yeah, I thought Coral was before Nibelheim, so when we see an FF9 remake. I would be very happy with an FF9 remake. Providing they don't make the characters look like they don't make the characters look like they do in Final Fantasy 16 and remake. Like, don't get me wrong, the characters in Final Fantasy 16 and remake look great, but I want it. It's just I kind of miss the old, like, more anime-looking character designs that they had in the PlayStation era, ignoring 8. I get 8 before that. You already had a remaster. You'll take your remaster and you'll like it. Cloud, Squall, even the other type of weather thing. You know, he doesn't look like a deformed monstrosity anymore. Ho ho! As the name implies, here is where we hold our grandest events. At present, Master Typhon and Yojimbo perform their regularly scheduled show, to the delight of all and sundry. Ah, yes. Speaking of this Master Typhon, I've heard tell that he's a terrifying monster whose sneezes are powerful enough to send someone flying off their feet. How dare you? How dare you ban Triple Triad, my love and passion. Pardon my directness, but does this not pose a danger to your guests? Yes! Danger? Why, no, none at all. You can rest assured that behind Master Typhon's frightened countenance lies the kind heart of a model employee who cares deeply for the safety of our guests. I love the idea that I've seen Typhon. He's like a big guy. I just love the idea that in the staff room there's like he's got an employee of the month photo somewhere. It's funny people want 9 remade, but they just want to update the look of it. They don't want it left alone after. They don't want what they did to 7. Yeah, basically. I mean, to be fair, I think there's a lot of people who wanted that for 7 as well, which they're kind of getting in Ever Crisis. Kind of. Like, it's, you know. When Ever Crisis is done, I'm hoping that they put out a version that isn't on mobile and just go, here's the console version. It's got all the episodes unlocked. You can just play through the story of Final Fantasy VII with updated graphics. Although one thing I've been hearing, although this might just be the closed beta, I don't know. Apparently you don't control your teammates. You only control Cloud or whoever the main character of that scenario you're playing as. So it's still got the turn-based ATB system that Final Fantasy VII has, but the other people on your team will just will do their stuff automatically. I think you can, like, set them up for certain behaviors, but they'll just act automatically and you can just focus on Cloud, which, again, I feel like is they sort of went, look, here's an actual remake of Final Fantasy VII, but we're taking out the thing that you actually like Final Fantasy VII for, which is being able to, like, turn-based control your teammates. So yeah, maybe feedback from the closed beta. We'll see what the final version looks like in September. So like the Gambits in Final Fantasy XII. It's been a while since I played Final Fantasy XII. But yes, I think so. Because I vaguely remember the combat system in that one. I wonder if Part 2 of the 7 remake will get rid of Fort Condor. I do wonder that as well, because they had that Fort Condor minigame in the Yuffie side story. And I wonder if that was their way of going, this is Fort Condor now. We're not going to touch it in the main game. You might be a place you go to, but you don't do the Fort Condor game. Because that's now within Yuffie as a board game. Not within Yuffie, but within Yuffie's side story as a board game. So, this is your Fort Condor. Ignore the real one. I mean, I assume the huge material is still there, but I guess they could just go. We got the huge material for Fort Condor, and it's like, okay, cool. Danger? Why, no, none at all. You can rest assured that behind Master... Oh, you did that. I remember the day we met fondly. Master Typhon had been ushered into our realm due to an attempt by the Thaumaturge's guild to summon Voidsent, and after a journey full of twists and turns that yielded him no means to return from whence he came, he decided to seek gainful employment, making the best of a bad situation. Once I heard of his story, I knew he would be perfect as one of our attractions. After the requisite job interviews, I hired him on the spot. Albeit he did get off to a sticky start, unleashing sneeze upon mighty sneeze in alarming succession. However, once I realized he meant only to offer up a reprieve from that day's blistering heat, I thanked him for his kindness, and he has been amenable to constructive criticism ever since. Of course, you know quite well how refreshing Master Typhon's sneezes can be. The tale of your bout with him and Master Ultros is still to hold to this day. Oh, were I there to witness it myself. Yeah! I remember that! Was that part of the Hildebrand stuff that we did in Uldar? I think it might have been. Yeah, I beat him up. That's all I do. Fetch quests and beating people up. It was. Okay, cool. I'm glad I remembered that. Yeah, I remember Master Ultros, because he was the tentacle guy. Now, as much as I would like to regale you further, I fear I'm on the edge of rambling. Let's conclude our tour of Event Square and return to the Aetheryte Plaza. It's nice, though. I'm learning a lot about the Gold Saucer. But yeah, I feel like with 9, because they never did any kind of extra stuff with 9, it was just 9, that they're less inclined to do anything silly with it. You know, there was no sequels, there was no prequels. I think there was maybe a book that had like a prequel novel or something. But other than that, it was all kind of self-contained, and they never did anything with it. So I think there's less risk of them doing anything to the scale of the 7 remake. Wonder Square was envisioned as a place where our patrons can kick up their feet and take in the wondrous scenery we've arranged for them. The second floor is equipped with a cocktail lounge which offers the realm's finest libations. From what I've heard, this area is among the most popular. Is it true that you even offer games hailing from the Far East? Oh ho, just so. Our Doman Mahjong has received quite great acclaim since its introduction here. There is nothing quite like it in all the realm. I really should learn Mahjong at some point, because it keeps appearing in Yakuza games, and it's here, and I'm sure there's other games that have Mahjong in it. I've tried it a few times, I just can't get my head around it. 'Twas brought to my attention by an employee who spent time in the Far East. There it is played as simple recreation, as a display of hospitality or in fierce competition amongst common folks and nobility alike. Truly it brings me great joy to monetize it. That people can come here to enrich themselves with games from distant lands. I only hope that we can introduce even more games from places far and wide to the people of Eorzea. Path. Why aren't we talking about Triple Triad then? I feel like that's a pretty big part of the Gold Saucer, and, you know, he's hidden cards, like, throughout the entire realm, and in other universes, and on the moon. But there is still so much to see. Perhaps we should return to the Etherite Plaza and consider the next part of your hard-won interview. Because the game knows you shit talk gay. I didn't shit talk gay. It's great. But, you know... They did a thing with it. I think that's all you're going to get for the time being. I'm just trying to be realistic. Yes. Very good. I believe I have more than enough information to write several articles. It's been quite a while since I've spoken to my beloved Gold Saucer at such length. I do hope my ramblings did not bore you. Far from it, Lord Mandeville. I quite enjoyed your anecdotes, as I'm sure will each and every one of our Raven's readers. Ho ho, I am delighted to hear that. We built the Gold Saucer to revitalize commerce and rekindle the spark of joy in people's lives. Laughter and smiles are as much a lifeblood as food and shelter. This place serves to fulfill that all too elusive need. Not only for our patrons, but for our workers who tirelessly keep the Gold Saucer operating smoothly. My greatest hope is for their happiness. We're going to go, please gloss over the fact that I allow children in my gambling den. I see. A beacon of joy guiding people to the smiles they've forgotten. I believe I can use that. God, but sounds like all of the gambling sites when Twitch banned gambling. Or like Activision trying to argue in the courts about loot boxes. No, they're joy dispensers. Honest, they bring joy and they guide people to smiles. Thank you for everything, Lord Mandeville. This interview gave me all I need for a phenomenal article. Oh, it's entirely my pleasure. May your pen burst forth with inspiration, as do the clouds with rain, or as the Gold Saucer does with MGP. Do be sure to speak with Olia on your way out. He has something prepared that I believe will bring a smile to your face. Is it free money? No! Like gold itself, the ideals which guide this establishment are immutable. I invite the both of you to return whensoever you please. And we found his boy toy. Oh no! With Godbert, if anything, it's their number. It's the third part of his and his wife's threesomes. Olia, we like your vibe. Welcome back. Allow me to thank you once again for answering our invitation. The pleasure was all mine. It was an honour to hear such first-hand accounts from the Gold Saucer's founder. I see now that this amusement centre was designed with much care for the people it serves. In fact, I'm thinking of entitling my article, The Gold Saucer, Where Hearts of Gold Reign. I hope it will convince more people to come and visit them for themselves, and perhaps take with them a heart full of mirth. Of course, I haven't forgotten you, adventurer. I shall make sure to credit you in my article front and centre. Before you depart, allow me to present you with a small token of our appreciation. Our event will be underway for some time yet, so we hope you'll continue to enjoy all the Gold Saucer has to offer. Yay! I have my Godbert. And Kippy's gonna mention me in the newspaper. So, can you put a photo of me in the newspaper by any chance, Kippy? Where'd you go? It's just... I constantly like have an issue with people not recognizing me. And I feel like having a photo in the newspaper might help. Oh, of course they put Godbert next to his son. I wonder if you could get his wife as well. Anyway. Now I have my tiny little man following me. I forgot about this. I bought a material container. because I realised I had enough points. I got a wind-up Chloe. I don't know who Chloe is. Should I know who Chloe is? Where is she? Ever since she began receiving them on her doorstep, one a day, every day without fail, Chloe Alipo can't help but think there is something seriously wrong with whoever is sending her these disturbingly lifelike automata. Okay, so this is a stalker robot. Okay, I don't know who Chloe is. Maybe I don't know if I've met her yet. Maybe she was part of a side quest. Anyway, that was the gold. That was Let It Rain, Gold Saucer Quest. Like I said, I knew that was going to be quite short. Now we need to head to. Now we need to head to. Where is it? Wardona. I don't know why it's all the way over that side. So I should have. Yes, it's my red mage lady. Yes, this is the final. I'm disappointed there isn't a level 90 red mage quest to look forward to, but maybe there'll be a level 100 red mage quest to look forward to later. Jack, I was going to go looking for you. I've had a letter from Zarun Tia, and he's asked me to pass on a message. Ahem. Arya, I hope this missive finds you well. Should you come across Jack in Revenant's Toll, pray send him to me in the Alamega Quarter. I have need of his help. What could be happening in Alamego, I wonder? Well, I suppose there's one sure way to find out. Let's go. Addie is adorable. She has wondrous tales. Oh, is she the Is she the one that does the little 9x9 bingo card that you have to do? Yeah, okay. I have spoken to her. I have picked up a bingo card, but then I've never done anything with it. Because I don't have time. There's so much side content in this game, and I just don't have time for any of it. I'd love to just be able to spend hours and hours in this game, but there's so many games. Little Amigo. It's enough to catch up with the main content. Maybe once I'm caught up with the main content, we can start digging into the side content a bit more. But get the reference to Chocobo Gilgamesh from 10. This is indeed. I think I got this for fighting Greg. Where's it's companion, isn't it? Yeah, the Yojimbo barding. Did I get it from fighting Greg? No, I guess I got it from fighting Yojimbo. Tangentially related to Greg, though. Oh wait, no, Yojimbo was Greg in disguise, wasn't it? I remember now. It's been a few months. I went to Little Alamego, not the Alamegan Quarter. Different thing. Similar name. There we go. Yeah, same difference. But I think it's kind of rare. I mostly just have it equipped because, well, I mean, other than the fact that it looks awesome. Actually, no, that's really the only reason I have it equipped. I don't think it's that rare. It's kind of rare. Rare enough that getting it on your first time through the dungeon is nice. Ah, how wonderful to see my two erstwhile students. Not a moment too soon. We are glad to see you too, Zarun, though I gather the situation is not a happy one. You gather correctly. You'll recall the brotherhood I was once part of, the Crimson Duelists. Well, it seems the keepsakes left behind by my deceased colleagues have run afoul of some enterprising grave robbers. Did I kill the last one of those? I think I did. When the duelists met their end to some 2 decades past, I was too deeply engaged in my own battles to give them the burial they deserved. And so I did what many before me have done. I collected the blades of the dead and interred them within the tomb of the errant sword. With Alamigo much settled since the initial reclamation of the city, I judged it time to pay my respects to my fallen comrades. That is when I discovered the tomb in disarray and one of the duelist's swords missing. It would seem such petty acts of larceny have become common of late, and although the resistance speaks of taking steps, the army has its hand full overseeing the restoration efforts. But it's said that unrest and dissent have largely disappeared under General Aldin's command. Why this sudden rash of law-breaking? Well, now that the Imperials have been beaten back, those who once suckled from the Empire's teat are forced to look elsewhere for the wealth to which they are accustomed. For some, this means taking up a life of banditry. No thoughts. Just fly goes in one ear, comes out the other end, just like, uh-huh. What do you need me to kill? And for the lowest amongst them, it means ransacking the resting places of their countrymen. A crime I do not intend to leave unpunished. Wasn't this gimmick the had to pay in Guild to help you? Gilgamesh in 10. I don't know, because again, it's been a long time since I played 10, but that does sound like something Greg would do. As things stand, however, I have yet to deliver said judgment. This particular gang is uncommonly swift of foot, and I must temper my attacks lest I slay them ere learning the location of their stashed loot. Thus, so I turn to you for assistance. Capturing these thieves alive will be far easier than with an extra pair of hands. If it's an extra pair of hands you need, then count me in. Without red magics at your beck and call, nay, 'tis too dangerous for one still relearning her art. I've been practicing against the creatures of Mordona ever since we parted ways. My magics may not be what they once were, but I can cast the initiate spells well enough, I promise. Don't make me furrow my brow any harder than I already am. The monsters in Mordona are not to be trifled with. That was a risky path to take at this stage of your training. I took risks, yes, but not foolhardy ones. If I don't push myself to my limits, then I'll never catch up to you or Jack. I mean, you won't catch up to me, but you might catch up to him. Zerun's great, but he's quite a bit weaker than I am. I wish you'll not take no for an answer. Very well, but you do not leave my side, understand? Yes, thank you, Zerun. You won't regret this. The three of us, then. Bloodhow is where these grave robbers ply their unsavory trade, and the edge of the graveyard is where we shall meet. I like to think of myself as a Final Fantasy fan, but when it boils down to it, I really don't know much about any of the games. I've played almost all of them. I've beaten almost none of them. In fact, I've only beaten Final Fantasy VII. I almost beat Final Fantasy IX. I got right to the end, and then just never did the final boss. I think I was like, okay, I need to go and do all of the, like... Wait, I should probably check where this is before I start running over. Okay, no, it's quite far. I can fly. Let's get my little whirly bird. I got to, like, the point where it's like, this is the point of no return, and I was like, okay, cool. Time to backtrack and do all of the stuff I need to do. You know, end game stuff. Get all my, like, limit breaks and... I can't remember what the things in fight. I can't remember what the things you unlock at the end of Final Fantasy IX were. Fight the optional bosses. Go kill death. And then I just never did it. And it's been 20 years. More than 20 years. Was it 98, 99? Final Fantasy VIII came out. wonder if I still got my copy of it. I may have given it away. I say gave it away. I may have lent it to someone and never gotten it back. Because I wouldn't have willingly given away my PS Final Fantasy games, but I think that's what happened to them. I'd like to simply snatch up these grave robbers, but they have proven an infuriatingly slippery foe. A foe who now knows my face. Which is why you, Jack, must play the role of deceiver. Search the graveyard until you find the thieves in question. Then convince them it is in their best interest to slink over here to the east. Once the scoundrels are too close to escape, Arya and I will spring our trap. I mean, I can just kill him. I'll just kill him. Hi, Minotaur. Is there a Major Tor? Seven out of 2,000 for Final Fantasy IX. I don't understand that. Oh, July 2000. Sorry, I thought you were like it was like so that was some like really oblique reference of something in Final Fantasy IX that I just wasn't, and you were just condemning me for never finishing yet. Okay, July 2000. That makes a lot more sense. Was it 2000? See, in my head, I always think of Final Fantasy X as being 2000, but I guess Final Fantasy X was 2002. Maybe it's 2001. It was so crazy they put out Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10 like so close to each other. July 2001. Okay, it was. Yeah, and then Final Fantasy 8 was 99, and then Final Fantasy 7 was 97. So crazy to me, they put out like Final Fantasy games almost every year for 5 years. I mean, you think Final Fantasy 15 was 2015, I want to say, and it's been 8 years before Final Fantasy 16. 9 is 23 years old. I remember when it was released. So do I. I remember going into town and picking up a copy from Game when the game still exists. I think it might have been Electronics Boutique when Final Fantasy 9 came out. Yeah, it was nuts that they were putting them out so quickly. What a time to be alive. You looking for trouble, mate? How big a fool do you have to be just wander up to a gang like this? You go to the eastward. I saw a patrol sweeping the grounds on the west. Soldiers, is it? I best be moving on. Thanks for the warning, friend. Oh, not that we doubt your word or anything, but you'd best come with us. Call it a show of good faith amongst thieves. We'll be waiting just up ahead. Again, I could literally just kill all 4 of these guys, and I mean, there's not even any witnesses. It'd be really easy to do. High fire sprite, nice. Oh, wait till I heal. I remember when the original NES was released and getting it for my birthday. How do you think I feel? Yeah, that was a while ago. I wasn't quite old enough to remember like the NES and the Master System. I had an Amiga 600, and I had a Atari when I was 2, but I don't remember getting it. I just remember having it. I think the first one I remember like. I think the Game Boy is about the first one I remember like actually getting. Oh no, I do kind of remember getting the Amiga 600 back when I was like 6 or 7. My parents bought one for me and my brother, which seemed like excessive. But I guess it was so that we wouldn't fight over the games. I think they were vastly overestimating the quality of the Amiga 600's library. Don't get me wrong, it had some bangers, but they were few and far between. There's a couple of games, this is just an aside, from that era that I got as like, I think, demos on the front of magazines that I remember so vividly, because I had so few games to play that I just play these demos over and over again. For the life of me, I can't remember what game they were for. They may not even have ever come out, because they were demos. They may have been demos for games that just never launched. And I've tried multiple times looking them up to see if I could find them. Just because I'd be interested to sort of see what the rest of the game looks like. I think one of them might have been a Police Quest game, but I'm not 100% sure, because I haven't been able to find a screenshot of the one bit that I did. So, but it looks like it was either a Police Quest game or it was a copy of a Police Quest game. It was around that era, and I think it might have been Sierra. Yeah, that stuff's long gone now. I can't even like hook it out of some box in a loft somewhere. Where about our two mates? They went ahead to the east just like you suggested. And us? Well, someone's got to eliminate the competition. Oh, okay, cool. We are attacking these guys. Excellent. What am I doing? So it's been a little while since I did combat. I'm a little bit rusty. Let me warm up. Fortunately, I got my bird with me. Yeah. See, again, I could have just killed all four of them, I think. I'm sure these two dealt with them, though. Oh, they didn't even kill their guys. Now we rarely see demos for games. Yeah, nowadays, if you do get a demo, it's for, like, a AAA game. I mean, there's still a couple of demos here and there, but it's mostly for games that are like almost guaranteed to come out. I feel like back in the day, demos used to be for games that just disappeared into the ether, or the games were being made on such a tight deadline that the demo was for a version of the game that just didn't exist anymore. I remember people still like pick apart things like the Resident Evil 2 demo, because it had like there were like loads of bits that were completely different from the main game, and some of it was that they made the demo to be a demo, so that like Ada, I think, shows up at the end of the demo in a part that she just doesn't show up in the main game, which is fair enough. But there's other bits like there's posters that are different or things like that, and yeah, I remember getting like a PlayStation 1 or a PlayStation 2 demo disc, and I think like half the games on each of those discs just never came out. Yeah, the old PS1 demo discs, and yeah, they had the hidden music on. I did a hidden corn music video for Got the Life. That's pretty interesting. I do remember putting in PlayStation discs into my CD player to see if I could get like audio tracks. I remember Tomb Raider had a bunch of audio tracks. There, trying to figure out your password, did you? That's what you were doing this whole time. Just waiting for a forgotten password link from Square. Nicely done, Jack. We caught these two completely off guard. And I must say, Arya, you exceeded my expectations. You've made impressive progress in such a short length of time. Yes, I knew those lessons at the Mage Guild were worth it, even if it was painful to begin at the beginning again. Oh, I see you've been cracking open as many books as you have monster skulls. Your dedication to the fundamentals has certainly paid off. Now, I counted 4 brigands last time I was here. Knowing what I do of such villains, I assume the other 2 sought to waylay you. Yet here you stand with scarce a hair out of place. All jesting aside, I suspect your skills have surpassed my own. They have. What trials must you have endured to forge such strength? I fought on the start to save the world turned oblivion against heroes turned villain. I found another star to save the world from oblivion. I went to another planet, and they're like, uh-huh. I think he's taken one too many hits to the head. And I went to another world, and there were people like the people here, but they were different. And there were places like the places here, but they were different. And there was too much light, so I ate all the light, but then the light made me sick. And then so the light came back out, and then a guy got shot, and then I had to eat the light again. Wait, did I eat the light again? I can't remember what happened at the end. I got light cancer, and then we emptied a lake, and then we went underwater, and there was a city, and we spoke to some ghosts, and then I killed a guy. And then the light went away again. And now it's fine. Another star! Even your adventures play out on a stage beyond my wildest imaginings. And this talk of sin eaters, was it? Sounds to me as if your battles took place on the edge of suffering itself, where the heart and steel of even the mightiest red mage would be tested. But whilst it is endlessly gratifying to hear the exploits of one's former student, I suppose we should return to the matter at hand. Once we have subdued these ruffians here, a few threats gleaned us the location of their ill-gotten gains. All buried in a box in the royal hunting grounds, or so they claim. I believe in a division of labour is in order. Arya, pray hand our captives over to the resistance, then wait for us at the tomb of the errant sword. Jack, you and I have some digging to do. Aww. Can we make Arya do the digging? I'll go and hand these guys in. Just after I sent in a ticket saying I could get on my account too. Hopefully they don't make me reset my password. I've done that before. Hit the reset password link. Or done like a forgotten password thing. Just to find out which account I registered with. Because sometimes it's like, I don't know which email address. I did that recently. Hey, salutations, King Demonic. Good to see you. I love how another star is being people's wildest dreams, yet everyone knows of the void sent from the 13th. I think that maybe that's why he doesn't like discount me as being an insane person, because just like I guess stuff coming here is kind of old hat, but going to other places is less believable. But yeah, I recently found out there was a tweet that got a bit of traction. Oh man, Twitter, huh? What a delightful place that is. There's a tweet that got a bit of traction recently from Gaia Online, and they were joking about the events last week on Twitter where like all the accounts got restricted, and they were just joking about like the fact that Gaia Online is still online, and I was like Obi-Wan. I was like, now there's a name I haven't heard for a very long time. I checked, and my Gaia Online account's still up. But I had to reset my password because for the life of me, I couldn't remember which email address I used, and it was too. I haven't updated. I started using the email address I use now, my sort of personal one, maybe 20 years ago. No, maybe 15 years ago. It was 2 email addresses before that. Fortunately, I still have access to that mailbox, so I was able to reset my password and get on. And Jesus Christ, they've not updated that website. I don't know how they are still going. Clearly, it doesn't cost them a lot of money. Oh. Clearly, it doesn't cost them a lot of money to... Am I in the right place? By the way, yes, I am. It doesn't cost them a lot of money to keep those servers running because I cannot imagine anyone is spending real money on little tiny sprite drawings of clothes for their little sprite men to chat. As far as I can tell, the only thing you can do on that website is chat. Maybe you can have a shop or something, I don't know. I didn't delve too deeply, I was at work. But, oh yeah, Neopets is the one, is one that's always in the back of my head. I've dipped into my Neopets account a few times. You know, to see all of my things are still starving to death. And, but alive. And suffering for eternity. And, you know, give the wheel a spin and do one of the other free things. Do one of the scratch cards in the mountain, cold mountain, or whatever it was. But yeah, Gaia Online was just like... It was a part of my brain that I had kind of cut out of just a memory that just hadn't surfaced in any form since the late 2000s. I checked my last login was 2009. And it was to... I can't even remember what it was. I think... No, I don't. I can't even begin to think what I would have been doing in 2009 that would have made me sign into Gaia Online. And yeah, it's just interesting, like the amount of things you forget. Do you have a Webkins account? I never got Webkins. There's a couple that I missed. I never had Club Penguin. I never had Webkins. I did have a Habbo Hotel account for a short period. I do remember Habbo Hotel. I don't really remember what you did in that game, but I remember having a Habbo Hotel account. Glad I have the excuse of no longer having a PC. I can't go and look at all my cringy ass old accounts. You can check them. You can check them out on your phone. They'll exist. I mean, Gaia Online, I don't think has a mobile website. I can't. That game looks terrible. That website looks terrible on browser. I can't imagine what it looks like on a mobile. Like, they really have just gone. Yeah, no. We're just not gonna turn it off. As long as we keep getting in more money than the server costs, we'll just keep it going, I guess. Do you feel that? The ground, it's soft, certainly not as packed down as elsewhere. And I think we found their cache. I'm trying to remember if there's any other accounts like that. Internet used to be a wondrous place, filled with all kinds of magical and fantastical ways to waste your time. And it still is, but there's a lot more hate. Phew, glad I might have found this before they hoarded off to the black market. I cracked the lid to check the contents, and the box is indeed filled with stolen goods, including one rather familiar sword. Come, we should return these articles to the tomb. With any luck, Arya will have arrived already. So I didn't get the sword, do I? As like a reward? No? Okay, that's fine, I guess. Did you need me here? I feel like you could have, rather than in the time you were waiting for me to arrive, you could have dug that up on your own. Moshi monsters. Now that's one I don't. That's one I don't know and have never heard of. Webkins I've heard of, and I've seen pictures of a Webkins, so I kind of know what that is. But Moshi monsters, no, that's a strange and unheard of. The only trace of my cringe person I have is that one FF14 alt level 1 I never played because right after I created the character, the name was so edgy I couldn't stand logging on. Devilish Deathbringer. That is a pretty solid, edgy name. Mine used to be Perfect Slayer, was my angsty teenager, edgy character name that I used to use for all of my accounts. And the perfect was from Dragon Ball. Like, I just pinched the transformation off of Cell. Moshi Monsters was basically a website where you could adopt and raise little monsters. Oh, that sounds kind of cute. I think I did... I mean, I think Neopets kind of filled that niche for me. So that's probably why I didn't have any interest in, like, branching out into anything else. There was also a Digimon... Not Digimon, I would have loved a Digimon game. There was also a Medabots game that just doesn't exist anymore. There was, like, an in-browser game where you could... it's like a battle arena, and you could fight Medabots. And when you beat a Medabot, you could choose a piece of them, or you might have gotten a piece of them randomly, and you could use that to upgrade. What's up, dude? You could use that to upgrade your Medabot, and so you could change their body parts, and you had to keep fighting the same guys over and over again to get all the parts, so you could play as that Medabot. And it was proper janky. But I could play it at school. Which is a big part of the reason why I would play it. And then just disappeared into the ether. And just one day the site went down. There's a big story. There's like a whole brouhaha about the whole Medabots situation. It summarized as basically some guy bought the copyright for Medabots outside of Japan, but they didn't own the license. They couldn't do anything with it. But they just they bought the copyright thinking that would let them make Medabot stuff, because the company that makes Medabots in Japan let it lapse. But legally, they just couldn't do anything with it because they didn't own the license. But because they had the copyright, it meant the company that did own Medabots couldn't release anything outside of Japan. So we just stopped getting Medabots games for a while. I think it's been resolved now, but it was, so we might get a Medabots game sometime in the future. But yeah, there was a whole period where we couldn't. Where did the event start? Uldar. Like literally right outside of the Etherite room. You speak to the Catgirl reporter. Right, let's return these relics to their rightful places. Again, I'm glad you waited for me. You could have started, but without me, it's fine. That should be the last of them. But what of your comrade's blade? Oh, it's kind of boring looking. I don't want it. Ah, well, would you indulge me in a moment of nostalgia? The man who wielded this sword suffered from shallow reserves of ether, and so he commissioned a weapon capable of channeling his energies in the most efficient manner. As you might imagine, the custom blade thus forged cost him a small fortune in coin. We would taunt him in his empty purse without mercy, of course, challenging him to become a mage worthy of such priceless steel. His reply to our jeering comments would always stay with me. Even should I fail to do this steel justice, it will remain long after I have perished. A kindred soul shall take up the sword, and then you will see my coin was wisely spent. Anyway, Jack, I'd like you to take it. His hopes for such a legacy died with the Crimson Duelists. I entombed the blade, believing that no new mage would rise to claim it. But I was wrong. You two stand here as living proof that our efforts to revive red magic were not in vain. Thus, 'twas when I discovered the sword missing that I put in mind again of my comrade's words. And I wonder if he did not orchestrate this affair from beyond the grave, if only to remind me of his will. Jack, you appear to have a distinct taste in weapons. This blade, I think, should belong to Arya. I really wish I had a more ornate weapon equipped at the moment. He's like, you appear to have a distinct taste in weapons. And I got some glowing, like, relic weapon with swirling parts spinning around. It was like, what do you mean? But as it is, my sword's quite kind of tame at the moment. But I'm not even your student right now. I don't think I deserve to have it. I made a promise to you, did I not? That once you learn to harness your aether, I would take you under my tutelage once more. The way I see it, you have more than upheld your end of the bargain. Accept the sword, Arya. Be my apprentice and help me usher in a new future for the Red. Take it! I will. If you would offer to accept me as your student once more, then let this be my answer. I don't know why, but her... I mean, I do know why. Her pink skirt annoys me. I feel like it should be red. It is done. Let us present here this day... Oh, let us present here this day swear a new oath. To fight for the common good with pure heart and an unbending steel. Forgot the weapon is soulbound to you and talks with you in your mind. Which weapon's that? Pink mage. Pink is a shade of red. I mean, I guess. But it's just like... I mean, look, me and Zarun are, you know... red top to toe. Just make the skirt red or black. It would look so much better. Pink and red just doesn't go. And so concludes our business here. But as much as I should like to accompany you back to Mordona, I fear my own pilgrimage must continue. The war with the Imperials has Alamigo teetering on the brink of uncertainty once more, and I must assume the situation is most taxing for you and your fellow scions. Thus, for the time being, I shall keep my blade loose in its sheath. I may be but one man, but know that I shall remain vigilant against the Empire's machinations, as I chart my course across the lands of Eorzea. I am sorry that I cannot yet devote myself to your lessons, Arya. The demands of the road are such that I cannot take you with me and still hope to move as swiftly. Hang on. It's like, you've kept up your end of the bargain. Time for me to keep up my end of the bargain. Later, though. I need to go. Your oath takes precedence, of course. I'm ecstatic just to know that you'll be my mentor once again. Please stay safe on your travels. I appreciate your understanding, and I will stop by to aid your progress in Revenant's Toll whenever circumstances permit. I take my leave, then. Fare you well, Jack. When next we meet, I expect your scarlet hue shall be ever more vivid. Bye. Shall we make our way back to Mordona, then? Bye. Mix of wet red mage and white mage. Was she a white mage before? I mean, if she was, I guess I could kind of, you know, appreciate that thematically. But I don't remember her being a white mage. It's a weak shade of red, right? I can't. There we go. It's just, I mean, she's got the pink frills on her arms as well. Just make it red. I don't know, I just don't like it. I've been so consumed with restoring my magics, but now I have a new goal, learning to wield my sword with perfect execution. With Zarun's instruction, I mean to become a red mage worthy of his comrade's weapon, and I wouldn't say no to any help from you either, Jack. Alright. I mean... I'll see you at level 100, I guess. Because like I said, there's no level 90 class quests. Look at this tiny little soldier. There's no level 90 class quest, so that's it, we're done now. I think I got a new ability from that. Maybe not. Maybe I only got one from the level 80 quest. Now. Right, that's the quest and the Red Mage stuff done. Let's go and do some main-line story quests then. Wait, did I just teleport to where I am? I did. I was looking at the map and going, that map looks strangely familiar. Alright, I'm here. I need to go and speak to Tartaru, I think. Is everyone still... Am I allowed in this room? No. Everyone's corpses are in that room, but I'm not allowed in there. Ooh. I get a new weapon for doing this. Jack, gods, it's good to see you. I hope your being here means you've had your fill of rest. More than my fill. It's been a month. I played Final Fantasy 16. It was great. There weren't boobs, but there was nudity. Well, you've certainly earned it. I get that's a weird thing to say. Not much has happened since your last visit. I planned for you to meet Matt Halper I told you about, but he refuses to answer his link pearl. I do hope he's alright. They've been exchanging messages with the Orsian Alliance throughout, though. They say the fighting has finally stopped to the Gimlet Dark, and that the Empire show no sign of movement. Which means we might actually have a moment to ourselves for a change. Seeing as you're back, maybe you could tell me more about your time in the First. Okay, again. So I went to this other place, there was a guy there, I ate all the light. Great, oh, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Flahamin to join us. That's Yishdollar's mum? Yes. She'll want to know what happened to Minfilia. I think it's best she hears it from you. We'll meet you at the terrace, on the terrace at the House of Splendors. Oh, okay. No, it's... Which one's Flamin? There's so many characters, and they've all got names. Oh, it's Minfilia's mom. I knew it was someone's mom. That would explain why she'd want to hear about Minfilia Girl. Human girl had a cat mom. See, I remembered Flamin was a cat girl. Oh yeah, the names oscillate in this game from being like kind of normal and pronounceable, like Thancred, to being just a fist slam. Why am I looking for stairs? Just a fist slam of consonants and apostrophes. Hi, Ace of Jalis. Am I interrupting? Alright, let me take my seat. I assume Tartaru sits opposite. There we go. This is... Why would I stand up? Jack, my, it has been too long. Tartaru did mention I'd be joining you, did she not? I do miss your massive Chocobo form, but your tiny Chocobo form does have a certain charm to it. Just sat there eating cookies while me and the cat girl MILF have a chat. Thank you. Words cannot well express how I have longed to know more of the First. This world Minfilia has sacrificed so much to save. But come, rest your feet. Tartaru should be arriving shortly. Get it, 'cause she's short. Ha ha ha. And so Minfilia chose to pass on her gifts to the next oracle. This girly Thancred named Reen. To have such a burden thrust upon her as a child, only to embrace it when given the choice. In that respect, they are quite alike. It would seem her legacy is indeed in capable hands. Jack, might I ask a favour of you when you next return to the First? To tell Reen what I cannot. To tell her thank you. Yeah, I can do that. Oh, hey, Reen. Minfilia's mum says thanks. You're welcome. And then I just walk out without explaining. I would offer thanks to you as well for staying with her to the end. I mean, you're here now, but... Begging your pardon, but could I have a word? Oh, it's this guy. Rio, I hope you're here to tell me you've received word from our helper. I wish, nay. I've not had a peep out of him, and it's been a good while. It's been a good long while now, too bloody long. On account of which, I'm going to sneak over the border and see if I can't get a signal to him from closer up. Yeah, I like being bigger too, but I don't want to waste the joke. Waste the potion. Changing just for a joke would be kind of a waste. Yeah, who would change their race or their character for a joke? Ha! What a waste of potions that would be. I'll go back when you reach the next DLC. Fair enough. We'll look forward to Endwalker Satratus then. But I feel like his accent would be more Scottish or Irish. Well, I can't do a Scottish or Irish voice consistently. So he's got an eye patch there where he gets my pirate voice. But what if they catch you? There must be another way. Well, it ain't as if we can ask Thancred to do it. Besides, I shouldn't have no trouble picking me way through Gimmet now the fighting's died down. Gods know there's enough shadow hiding. And it beats waiting around here twiddling me thumbs. Any road, I just thought I'd let you know. Now I'd best be... Ah, I nearly forgot. Cryle's at the stones and she wants a word. Something to do with the patients. She was getting ready to examine her again when I left. We'd best head back then. I'm sure it's important. Bye. She's like, well, I live there too. I work at the bar, I think. Alright, well, you enjoy your dinner with the MILF. I'm gonna do plot. I can do a Boston accent, no problem. Ah, Tataroo! Now get me some of this clam chowder and lobster. You just have to make your mouth really wide. That's how you do a Bostonian accent. God. Full damage is a thing in this game. It is. But it's generally fine so long as you're not in combat. If you're not in combat, you can jump from the top of a mountain to the depths of a chasm and you'll be fine. Your ankles will just hurt. But if you're in combat, if you jump so much as like a little bit, you'll just die. It is the number one thing that kills me outside of dungeons is fall damage. Where I've been running through an area and an enemy has targeted me just as I've jumped off a cliff or something, or I've forgotten about it. It seems she's still examining them. Oh, I do hope it's nothing bad. Yeah, exactly. You get used to the full damage not killing you, and then just occasionally it does.
You're here. Good.
Ah, voice tag.
So, how are they?
I don't play Donald's classes that have buttons that literally throw you down cliffs, so I've never died. Look. I have a cool backflip, okay, and even if it means that sometimes I throw myself off the cliff, I have to do the cool backflip. I could just walk away, I know, but the cool backflip looks so cool.
Still locked in slumber, but otherwise in good physical health.
Exactly. I do a flip, and it looks cool, and sometimes it kills me. But that's the price I pay for being a red mage.
At least.
For the present? Oh no, is something wrong with them?
We've run out of diapers. We've run out of adult diapers, and unfortunately the only place that sells them anymore is the Empire. That's what the entire post-Shadowbringers quest is about. I figured it out early.
I summoned you after detecting faint signs of instability in Thancred's corporeal ether. But subsequent examination suggested all 5 might be affected. And when I examined them just now, my fears were confirmed. Tellingly, the degree of instability varies between them. Thancred exhibits the most notable signs, followed by Y'shtola and Urianger. The twins' ether, meanwhile, remains relatively stable, but there is a change there too if one knows to look for it.
Yes, it is a good thing you're quick on the register, Tratus. You've been very helpful in my flamboyance. Uh, you've allowed to be a lot more flamboyant than I would have been had I been playing this game mostly on my own.
Hold on.
Dungeons.
Isn't that the order they were called away in?
Indeed. Which leads me to believe the instability will only increase with time. Though I can but speculate, I fear this may be a symptom of a weakening link between body and soul.
By the gods! What happens if the link is broken?
I cannot say for certain. This is all unknown territory to us. Yet whatever happens, it cannot be good. Mercifully, the instability is still only slight. And you may rest assured Master Matoya and I will do everything in our power to keep it from worsening.
Can we just, like, put them in a freezer or something? Like...
Be that as it may, it is imperative that you find a way to restore our friends' souls to their bodies.
No rest for the righteous, eh?
I realize you've only just returned from saving 2 worlds, but time is not on our side.
Fine.
But where's he even supposed to start? We had the greatest minds in the realm hunting high and low for an answer, and they ran out of places to look.
It's real good. It's a real good thing I didn't take... Excuse me. I didn't take a good month-long break between coming back to chill out for a while then. It's like, oh... I'm sure my friends' corpses appreciate that. It's fine. We already know the Empire can clone people. I think the body's not the problem. I think it's more the link. We could make as many Thancreds as we wanted. It's just then stuffing the soul into them. It's the tricky bit. But if we summoned them, if Grahatir summoned them to the first, and they have a physical form in the first, if we summon them back the same way, they'll have a physical form. I don't know how it works. Probably not like that. Otherwise they wouldn't have his quest.
You stated in your report that the Exarch had originally intended to reverse the summoning process by means of his own death, correct?
Ah, so I need to go and kill Grahatir. Got it.
Raha always was a reckless young fool, ready to die for the first righteous cause that came along. His plan might well have worked, but I, for one, am glad he never had the opportunity to see it through. Even if it does mean our friends must remain stranded a while longer.
I didn't think Kryl ever met Grahatir, but I guess they knew each other.
There is another way, I am sure of it. And the key lies with him, with the Exarch. Pray return to the first and apprise him and the others of the situation. We, meanwhile, will do what we can from here. And, if the fates are kind, we will have good news to share upon your return.
Alright. Let's just travel over to another dimension then. They're both from Schmucktown. Oh, is that the island that got destroyed? And that Cryer was the only surviving person. I mean, got destroyed, but it's the island is a sub-faction of them. Oh, okay. There's a lot of students of Baldesion. That was it. Yeah. And Kryl survived because she's got the Oracle, the same, whatchamacallit, crystal powers that we have. Hey, Graha, I need you. You might be killing our friends, unfortunately. Ah, Jack, you are returned. I hope your time in the Source was suitably restful. But of course it wasn't. Go on. Not always, Kingdom. It's fine if you want to lurk. Happy to have you in the stream, as always. Which is true for all of you. But of course, it's nice when you chat too. Basically, I'm easily pleased. Their corporeal ether shows signs of instability. By the gods, the possibility never even occurred to me. If you have returned in the hope that my research has yielded a solution, I fear you'll be sorely disappointed. I really don't know what I'm doing. It's kind of trial and error when I got you here. 'Tis but a mercy we have the likes of Mistress Kryl and Master Matoya to keep our friends' bodies safe while we wrestle with the problem. But they cannot forestall the separation of body and soul indefinitely. Come, the others must be told. Hey guys, I done goofed. If we're quick, we might be able to save the twins, but Thancred, you're basically dead. Oh, Thancred's not here. Excellent. I've got good news for you guys. I made a mild fucky wucky. So, oops. Sorry. You know how I summoned here against your will? Might have killed you. Not quickly either. Like, very slowly. Over the course
Pray
of...
excuse my late arrival.
Over the course of several weeks.
Will Thancred and Reen not be joining us?
Nay, milady. With apologies to all, they beg leave to pursue their investigation of the empty to its conclusion. Should matters here demand their presence, however, they did assure me that they would make themselves available.
Oh yeah, they went off into the desert, didn't they?
Yes, of course. Then let us proceed. I think it best that you begin by providing a summary of Mistress Kryl's findings.
You guys are fucked.
I suppose it was only to be expected that some change would occur.
Yet our souls seem unaffected, to my eye at least. How long they will remain so is another question. Kryl is right. It is imperative we find a way to return to the Source.
Perhaps an explanation of the method by which I brought you here will yield some inspiration. Ere I begin, it must be noted that I am by no means a gifted mage. In order to employ powerful magics, I must rely upon the Crystal Tower and its boundless reservoirs of energy.
Also, an insurmountable amount of human sacrifices. So what we did, we put a virgin on each one of these circles, and sacrificed them each time we summoned one of you.
The magic that summoned you was no exception. 'Tis a singular spell, adapted through painstaking effort from the technique that transported me to the first.
That's why there was a gap between each attempt, because we had to go and scrounge up more virgins.
To use an analogy, it works by cutting a hole in the fabric of reality. A hole tailored to the object of summoning, through which it and it alone may pass unscathed. Though I succeeded in creating said hole, I failed to latch onto my intended target. Instead of you, the spell found those close to you, and ended up summoning them in their incomplete state.
Ah, so kind of like an interdimensional claw game. He's trying to get the Warrior of Light plushie, and he keeps getting all of the cheaper ones that no one wants. There's too much lag. I need a
soon throw my life away.
I need a Sumimasen.
Not after the lengths you and yours went to save it. And so long as I breathe, I will spare no effort to to see you safely home. But should all else fail, and your lives be at stake, there remains one sure method.
Ow! What was that for?
I thought you were going to slap him for sure. The finger flick was
How
better
can you
though.
even entertain such thoughts? You owe your life to the Warrior of Light, and you don't get to die unless he says so.
I'll trade Grahatir for the rest of you. I think that's a good trade. I barely know Grahatir.
Your followers await your divine judgment.
Me and Y'shtola go way back. But when she all she had was a twig. Do you remember that, Y'shtola? Do you remember when you used to have that twig? Why was that your weapon of choice?
What did you just...
If the two of you have finished, perhaps we could return to our discussion? Rather than dwelling upon the multiple failed attempts at transference, I think it would behoove us to focus on the solitary success. I would draw your attention to the fact that our friend can travel between worlds possessed not only of his body and soul, but his personal effects besides. This is no different from the teleportation magics to which we are all accustomed. Magics that allow for the transportation of those inanimate objects one considers to be an extension of oneself.
I've seen a naked like 3 times. How many times has Graha stripped? Exactly. And even if Graha did take, stripped off now, he's got all those stony bits. I mean, no one wants to see that, Graha. No offense, but yeah, like, it's the entire Scions of the Seventh Dawn for Graha. Like, that's an easy trade.
Are you suggesting that simply by considering us his possessions, he could carry our souls back to the source upon his person?
I was actually gonna make that joke, and I got distracted reading chat. That I was gonna say, oh, so if I just put you guys in my pocket, I can carry you back.
Well, it would be nice if things were that simple for a change. But vague notions of ownership seem a rather tenuous thing to stake our lives on. So much as a moment of doubt on his part, and we'd be left floating in the rift.
Milady hath the right of it. The requisite fixity of belief would be too much to ask even of our friend.
What if I, like... I don't know, like... put you in, like, a ball or something, like a Pokemon. And then... No?
Yet, were we to immure our souls within an object in his possession, mayhap then our safe passage could be assured.
Oh, we are doing the Pokeball route. Excellent. Oh, I'm gonna get an entire team of Scions. Anyway, I'm sacrificing Dummy Mummy Kitty Girl for a Smarty Pants Time Traveler Cat Boy. I mean, exactly. It's very much, and it's like it's a Dummy Mummy, 2 twins, a Reddit user, and Thancred. It's, sexy Wesker.
White Auracite would, I believe, serve as a suitable vessel for this purpose. It was conceived to imprison the massy soul of an Ascian, and should house one of ours with relative ease.
Question of the signs of the legendaries or starters? Y'shtola, Thancred, and Lys are starters. None of them are legendaries. None of them are that good. Y'shtola, Thancred, and Lys are starters, because they're the 3 that you get. I suppose you also get the other guy, but he's dead. For the 3 starting towns. And the others are just, like, good Pokemon. Damn, shield signs, not even legendaries. Nah. Like, Godbert, he would be a legendary. Godbert and Hildebrand, those would be legendary. Scion Mons, if they were Scions. The twins are basically like the Pikachu of the generation. You know, like Plusle and Minum. They're the Pikachu, and then Urianger is like maybe like the you know how every generation has like a fake legendary like Lucario that they use a lot of promotional material and stuff. That would be Urianger, I think. Like he's not actually a legendary, but he's kind of cool. Not actually useful competitively in the meta. And Tartaru is like the Rattata. I feel like that's an appropriate pecking order. I guess
we need only to ensure our soul's safe preservation inside the stone and identify a means by which they might be transferred back onto our vacant bodies.
Just hide this behind me. I've just noticed there's a line. Hang on. Why does that not... I set this to fit to screen, but it gives me a slight gap underneath. I guess I'll just edit it myself. There we go. There we go. This was just a thin line of background underneath me that I could see there. That was bothering me. It was definitely there. I guess it was only subtle. It was very subtle, which is why I only just noticed it. It's fixed now, though. Once I noticed it, I had to fix it. Otherwise, it would have bothered me forever. Not even cute, a Rattata. Rattatas are cute. All right, she can be the Pidgey. She can be the Pidgey of the Final Fantasy universe.
Soul preservation and transference. I believe I know of someone who may be able to assist us.
He's considered the very best, like no one ever was in this field.
On the far shore of the source, there stands a great palace built by the elves. It was forsaken in the wake of the flood, but a certain Numo chose to make their home there soon after. Though they have long lived as a recluse, they once occupied a place of honor in Verbert's royal court, and it is said that none in all of Norvrant is more knowledgeable than they on matters of the soul.
Well, I've no objection to seeking a helping hand, but if they've gone to such lengths to hide themselves away from the world, what makes you think they'd be willing to lend us one?
A worthy question. Years ago, I myself tried and failed to solicit their cooperation in the battle against the Sin Eaters. No sooner had I begun to make my plea than they unleashed a swarm of their familiars upon me. Unlike me, however, you have curried favor with the Fae folk. By that merit alone, I am hopeful that they would grant you an audience. They may still be inclined to turn you away, of course, but if their knowledge might feasibly facilitate your return home, we have to try.
I like this plan. What do I want? Do I want ovum cordon bleu, a lemonade, a jellied harcot, oysters on the half shell, or some money? I have quite a lot of food in my pocket, so I'm going to take some money. Da, da, da. Yes, we do have a pact with their king, so we do have more than their favour. Me and the king of the Fae are good buds. We're on a first name basis. Augmented Crystarium rapier. Well, so much for my Aeneas or whatever that was. Yeah, it didn't last very long, did it? That's fine, I guess. Find grumpy old goat, summon our dearest branch, go back home. Yeah, basically. We need to go to 8 different temples in order to collect badges. I couldn't think of something else to prove our worth, and then so we can assemble our team and then return home to fight the elite, the excellent four. I'm gonna push this Pokemon analogy as far as I can push it for this entire TLC. The Grand Cosmos, that is the palace we seek, stands on the opposite shore of the source. I will arrange for a boat to carry us there. Whilst thou journeyest thither, I think it best that I devote mine energies to the creation of white Urusite. By thy leave, of course. The process requireth no small amount of time, and should the new Mo consent to lend us their aid, we will have need of a suitable vessel ere long. Agreed. Then I would ask the rest of you to meet me in the Sullen, and do be prepared for a warm reception. You say I should dress lightly. I have my summer clothes with me. I could put on my shirt and flip-flops. I already have the sunglasses. Always got the sunglasses on. Oh, hey, it's raining. Weather has returned. Hooray! You know there's one person, the first, who's like, oh my god, rain! After all these years! No one has sold an umbrella for 100 years. This is Final Fantasy XIV Friday with Friends. You should have called them the Fantastic Four instead of the Elite Four. You were absolutely right. That was an oversight on my part. Okay, so we're agreed. Orianche is going to make us some Scion balls, so we can assemble our team, defeat the, I mean, I've made up the part about there being 8 castles we need to go to, or temples, or whatever I said. Oh, have I still not unlocked flying? Dang it. I think I've unlocked flying on every map except this one. What do I still need? Oh, yeah, yeah. Alright, well, I'll get that. Hey, look, I've done... Oh, no, I haven't done the Tempest either. Okay. I've done 4 of them. I have just... There's one mission where I need to... Where would it be, then? Because I've... I don't have any blue missions to unlock the ether left. Unless it's in a different place and then I come... Oh, I don't know. I think I tried doing it and got disillusioned. Don't call me a dingus just because you can fly everywhere. I'll fly eventually. I'll look it up after today and see if there's see if I can actually unlock it. So normally what I do is when I get to the point where I know that I can unlock flying, is when the stream ends I'll just stick on a video and then normally Trash Taste, and then because that normally comes out on the Friday, and then just fly around and get all the Aether Currents and finish the map. There's a bunch of quests that I've half started because I needed the first part to do the Aether Current. It's like, I'm sure these are delightful side quests. There was one about a fairy that turned into a monster. And she was like, oh, I need your help. And it's like, yeah, sure, no, I'll help with that. I didn't. I didn't. And I never will. Unless it turns out there's a triple triad card hidden behind that quest. In which case, eventually, I might. Because I want my jam toast. Fight for fun during Final Fantasy XIV Friday with friends to have a friendly fight with the Fantastic Four to return your friends to their foyer. I felt like you could have mentioned the first in there somewhere as well. Like return your friends from the first to their friends. In the... Shit, don't rewrite that. This is what I'm here for. This is an editorial. You know, 8 out of 10. Good effort, but there's room for improvement. Oh, I so wish I had flying on this map. It takes so long to get over the... Oh yeah, I can swim. I was like, oh, I got to run round the side. It's like, no, I can swim. I have that power. Oh, no, just... It's raining anyway. I'm already wet. Alright, showing off how you can fly around with your magical car. Honestly. Oh. What is this track that kicked in? This is really hype music for getting in a wooden boat. As I told you before, I had scarcely set foot on the palace grounds when I was set upon by our host's familiars, and I expect our reception today to be no different, which is why I propose we march through the main gate, weapons drawn. I'm sorry, but are we not looking to here to petition for assistance? You can't honestly think barging in looking for a fight is going to persuade them. Actually, I believe the Exarch may have the right of it. They have no doubt poured a great deal of time and energy into their creations. Were I them, I should be most interested to meet with those who could overcome my defences. As would any truth-seeker of knowledge, and there is little we can say or do to convince them to help us if we know nothing of their character, nor less why they choose to hide themselves from the world. But if we could seize their interest, mayhap we can earn ourselves an audience. Bam! I thought he was going to go for the nod. Oh, look at Grahad here mimicking me. Like a child. The weapons drawn it is, then. But I must say, Exarch, you certainly seem to be enjoying all of this. It's like, Do I? Well, I will not deny that I enjoy the thought of fighting alongside you all, rather than pacing about inside the Crystal Tower. You both seem to be in rather high spirits, if you ask me. Not that I'm surprised, your moods invariably improve when Jack is around. I love that everyone keeps making fun of Grahad and Alice for being my fan... My fan... boy/girls. I was going to think of a more neutral term. Fan club? Fan club. He averted a calamity, and the light which seemed destined to consume him has been extinguished. It's only natural that we be pleased to see him. Yes, well, you will have had plenty of time to celebrate his good health after we've finished here. Of course. Then let us proceed to the palace. Oh, this is an actual duty, is it? I thought it was going to be a... Oh, okay. We're starting off for me. Okay, well, I guess that's why you're here. I'll wait for you to do the usuals. Fan club member number 1 and 2, indeed. And I bet it annoys Alice that she's not fan club member number 1, because Graha definitely joined my fan club before Alice did. Oh, my little Mandibert minion, his clothes explode when he poses. Like the real Mandeville. Maybe we can just watch him while I... What's my item level? 483? Son of I'm too low. Oh. How are you too low? You've not done your class quests. Sure you got... I'm just wearing the level 80 class gear. Oh. I don't need to go to Yulmore, do I? I'll wait. I'll just wait here for you to return. You go and gear up. I'll just wait here and for you to level up and queue up. Normally this is quicker. But yeah, you've done all the quests I've done, so you should have the same gear that I have. You know, quest-wise. Can't test out my new sword now. There's something down there, I know it. Well, for someone who's afraid of there being something in the water, why would you stand on a boat? Staring at it. No, I'm the one down here. I don't think there is anything down here. I think she's just being paranoid. Yeah. We're registered for the thing now, so I'm guessing Strat's got his item level up. Part of the reason my item level might be so high is because I'm wearing... I have mentioned this before, how I bought the when they were on sale. You can get items that let you level your character up to level 90. Well, I think you can only level them to 80. So if you wanted to just play Endwalker straight away, you could. But I bought them because they came with 500,000 gil and some. Oh yeah, you bought some item level 530 stuff. They came with a set of earrings, the augmented Crypt Lurkers stuff, which are all very, very good. So that's probably why my item level is as high as it is. For no other reason, really. But I didn't use the items that actually level you up. They're sat in one of my retainers' inventories. Because they skip the class quests. And I was like, well, I don't mind necessarily leveling up to 80, because it'd be quite good when I level up the other classes as a time saver. I'd quite happily spend money to save time on leveling up the other classes. But it skips the class quests, and I like doing the class quests, so no. In short, you know, imagine if we didn't meet if we didn't meet Zarun. And Arya. There we go. Onward to the grand cosmos. I will try my best not to backflip off of an edge and kill myself. But I am making no promises. Ooh, she's got a very shiny axe. I see you play Castlevania. Oh, you like the music in this one? Oh, it's a big dude. Oh. It's like Fantasia. It's not twinning, but it's nice. Yeah, it's... It doesn't necessarily stick out as being like an amazing song or anything, but it's nice. Some relaxing BGM. Anyway, I was going to say, I noticed that the two people we're partied with seem to be talking to each other. And I missed the start of their conversation. But it sounds an awful lot like they're role-playing. Ah, no, leave me alone. And backflip! See, it's necessary. Gotta do the cool backflip, even if it means backflipping into a wall. Room bad, okay. Separate. Oh, dang it. That's good at the backflip. I had to just walk away. My flow got interrupted by having to move around. Ow. Yes, I see what you mean. Broom bad. Oh, we almost got him though. I'm able to get one more sword combo off. Ow, 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 I'm being... Woo! Greed and greed. Alright, that was a pretty straightforward little boss. Oh, more loot. And the ring of fending. Good, good if you're a fender, bad if you're a caster. I'm a caster. Just be clear. But I can turn them into points. And points mean... Oh, I almost died there. Cheers for the heal. I was too focused on trying to get my big spell off. Oh, a choker of healing. Again, useless to me. But, you know. Did I not? Yeah, I crafted it. Start strong. Shall be closer. Oh, do I need to... What do you do with the seeds? Just take them off of the... Take them off of the grassy bit. Yeah, they wither and die. Okay, cool. I figured that out through context. By which I mean I watched everyone else do it. We call that a little trick in the world of Final Fantasy XIV called paying attention to what's happening. I only do it occasionally. What do I need to do here? Oh, I see. That would have... Right. So I was like, these ones are already on... Okay, that time I didn't pay attention. Or not as much attention as I could have. Oh. Okay. I made a few mistakes there, but the important thing is I knew what mistakes I made. Not that, you know, there's a very small chance I'll ever do this dungeon again, but, you know, if I do, next time, maybe I'll remember what I did wrong. Yeah, maybe. I did my backflip again. Oh, I may have drawn a bit too much aggro. Yeah, I got the bracelet of aiming. I really wanted to jump on the table and run through the food, but it wouldn't let me. There was an invisible wall. Painting's bad. Ah. This is a Mario 64 situation. I've got some materia. Ah! No, leave me alone. Oh, did the guy on the horse come out of the painting? Ah, so it's more like a Phantom Ganon situation. Man. Okay, something for casting. Oh, we ended already? I suppose we have fought 2 bosses. That was the short one. I like that one. Get downstairs, welcome. You've studied these halls long enough. Come, Lugus. I guess yet want for company. Sup? I'm Lugus. I am insatiable. I work here on the weekends. Fire is hot, don't get burned. Okay, thanks. Thanks, team. Oh, how did she do? How's she doing the flips? When you get burned, you can burn furniture. That's true in real life. Also, ninjas can't catch you. Ah, I see, okay. Yes. That one I might not have figured out on my own, so I appreciate the heads up for that. Ow. Ow. I didn't get out of the way in time, sorry. Dang it! Sorry, that was... Again, that was my B. I was healing and then I realized... Thanks. I realized what he was doing. I was like, oh, he's... He appears to be pointed at me. I can't. I just can't get out of the way in time. Thank you. I obviously need to be standing closer to him. I just realised what he's doing, like, just a moment too late to get out of the way of it. No, 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 damn it! Okay, well, I didn't die at least, but... Damn it again! He changes direction so much. Well, I only died 3 times. This one seemed pretty, like, tame. And then all of a sudden that guy just... It's just a nightmare. Am I still dead? Okay, cool. I'll give a... I sent it just in time for her to disappear through the portal and miss it. Excellent. Good job, me. I am the best at Final Fantasy XIV, I think. Or, like, statistically. Objectively. See, he's even clapping me.
That was my fiercest familiar. Oh, impressive.
Oh, he does have a kind of a Psycho Mantasy voice. Salutation Stone. Yeah, it has been a while. You've been in a couple of streams. Hope you're fine and dandy, though. They were not role-playing, by the way. I was making fun of you. Oh, was that before I got there, was it? Hang on, what's that? Oh, I can't see the chat that far back. Damn you. Does it let me go further back on the normal one? No. Oh, I can't. I said there are no cliffs to fall off of, but I trust your new ability to find a way. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. I didn't backflip off any cliffs, but I did find several ways for me to kill myself. Oh, it's a lot more adorable than I was expecting. Hello. What is this dog man?
Cloak, 'tis good to see you again after all these years.
Oh, you've not been feeling the greatest, Stone. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. I was explaining how I had a dodgy fish and chips earlier, and it is still playing all sorts of tricks on my insides. I'm going into more detail than that, but Twitch said there is always a way. But yeah, I mean, I feel like anyone who's been at a party with a red mage at this point knows how prone they are to backflipping off of a cliff. It's just one of the risks you take.
And judging by your vigorous greeting, I dare say the feeling is mutual. To be sure, a simple shake of the hand would have sufficed by way of welcome, but I shan't complain. But you must be wondering as to the purpose of our visit. We come to beg your assistance in a most urgent matter.
Red Mage, Dragoon, Dancer, and Reaper all have dashes and backflips. Ah, so you had a party made up of all 4 classes, so there's a chance that all 4 of you could send yourself plummeting off the world. I'm going to make 2 burgers with sourdough bread as the buns and dropped one of the burgers in dirty sink water. Yeah, I wouldn't feel great after that. What a waste of a burger. I mean, you know, if you cook it, that'd probably get rid of most of the bacteria. But no, you were probably correct to throw it away. Dirty sink water is dirty sink water after all.
Sake? Beg?
Okay, that's... Yes, like your name, you weird dog thing.
Our comrades' very souls are in danger. If we are to save them, we will need the benefit of your unsurpassed knowledge on the matter. Please, will you not sit and hear our plea?
So is this why Beck doesn't like Crystal Exar? Because he keeps accidentally including dog commands in his dialogue.
Oh, how dare you! How dare you speak thus in my presence! It was to escape such words of temptation that I hid myself from the world of men.
Oh no, I remember these things. They're the ones that are like, oh, we need to follow. Like they get off on being bossed around.
You are sinners, one and all, and I swore never again to have any part in your affairs.
It's like I can't resist the temptation of verbs. So I need to leave. I need to sequester myself away from civilization. I was already cooked. Oh, that's even worse than, yeah, there's no saving that. I bought Wagyu and almost lost one. I was feeling actual physical pain. Oh, yeah, that's way worse. You spend that much on meat. I watch, well, I don't watch those videos, but I watch VTubers reacting to those videos of people, like, doing fails. Like fail compilations, and there's just a couple where I've just felt like second-hand sadness. There was one where these 2 guys had like this cardboard stadium full of snacks, like nachos and burgers and fries and all sorts, like this giant cardboard stadium, and they'd clearly got it for like the Super Bowl or something. And they were carrying it downstairs, and the cardboard gave, and all of the food tipped all over the floor. And it was just like, it was all ruined. Like you could maybe save a little bit of it on the top, but that it was generally all just cut. And you just got to think, oh man, that is 0 to 60 happiness to sadness right there. And I just felt like, there's nothing you can do in that situation to make it better. Because Like, it's the Super Bowl. You clearly have had to have ordered that ahead of time. Even if you put in another order for food, it's not going to come for at least, like, another hour and a half, 2 hours, because it's the Super Bowl. Everyone's ordering takeaway food. So you can't even get it back before... Oh, I just felt so... Like, I was just like, I don't care about football, but man, I felt more sad about that than I'm sure they did about their teams losing. Anyway, just as an aside. People dropping food
I can only imagine what terrible events forced you into a life of seclusion.
People dropping food that a great amount of preparation has gone into. Like, there's another one where these people are bringing a wedding cake into a wedding, and they just drop the cake on the floor, and it just cuts to the bride's face, and she is just, like, mortified. And it's like, oh... I mean... I feel like most weddings kind of go over the top, but again, I just feel for like you've paid a lot of money for that cake, and you were really looking forward to eating it, and now it's on the floor. Oh, it's the most empathetic I get is when I see people dropping food that can't be immediately replaced, food that has taken a very long time to prepare.
But I know that the Numo are a good and noble folk. It is not in your nature to turn a blind eye to the plight of those around you. And in treating with us, I am certain whatever mistrust you feel for man will begin to... heal.
Are they doing it on purpose? This is the thing. Like, am I going to get a dialogue option in a minute where I get to do it as well?
If you will not be satisfied, I suppose I could listen. After all, there's no harm in just... No, I mustn't. Not again.
Well, what if we pay you?
The damn court mage seemed to have the best of intentions too, and countless innocents died for my naivety.
I don't think I can do the choice, by the way.
You know not what you ask of me. What horrors my knowledge has wrought.
What horrors my knowledge has... That's the best I can do. Maybe if I squeeze my nose. I don't get to do any wordplay. I never splurge on food. I hate spending too much, but I've been wanting to try something fancy, and a friend of mine got me a deal on Wagyu, so I went for it. One of the two steaks got hidden under lettuce in the fridge, and I thought I'd left it on the counter or something like that. Oh. But then you found like a secret... Although I've done that with food before, where I've bought it, put it in like the vegetable drawer, and then like weeks later found it and then gone, oh yeah, I bought that. Well, that's ruined. I had a cucumber. I didn't buy the cucumber, by the way. It just came with my shopping. Whoever packed my shopping just put a cucumber in there. I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll have some cucumber and cheese sandwiches at some point. I quite like cucumber and cheese. And I put it at the bottom of my vegetable tray. And then I found it a month later, and it was just water in a... Fortunately, it was still a sealed plastic thing. But it had just dissolved into a mush. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to have those cucumber and cheese sandwiches, I don't think. Yes, you do. Lie down. Oh! It wasn't... Yes, I suppose lie down... Yes, that is a command, isn't it? I was expecting like a ...
Of all the visitors I could possibly have, they're even more stubborn than I am.
Or an italices.
Oh. No.
We're not going to roll over and give up. Do you expect us to just play dead?
Very well.
Poor us for this predicament we find ourselves in.
I will hear your petition, but that is all. And I expect fitting payment for my troubles.
I guess we'll make do. Don't do that one.
Commensurate with your contribution to our cause. No more and no less, I promise you. With that settled, might I impose upon you to join us at the Crystarium? I'm afraid the nature of my friend's predicament calls for absolute secrecy.
Let's go for absolute secrecy. So let's go to the Crystarium filled with people as opposed to discussing it here in an empty castle filled with magical brooms. Like, the only people here are us. Beck Luke is like a mix of Gollum and Bart Simpson if Gollum was British. I mean, he technically is British. He was a hobbit, wasn't he? And Annie Serkis is from England. I just googled to check because I wasn't 100% sure. So, he's about as English as you can get. More British, okay. Didn't mean to actually you, but I had an inkling that he was. Oh, there you are. The others have gone ahead to the Crystal Tower with Beck Luke. For the record, I truly wish we hadn't had to resort to using such words when treating with them. I have ever sought to convince, not compel. Yet I cannot deny that part of me is glad Urianger shared his knowledge of the new Mo with us. Had he not, Beck Luke wouldn't be here. Speaking of whom, we should hurry. To keep our guests waiting would only add insult to injury. We now enter the Grand Cosmos with a party of NPC avatars. To make use of this feature, open the Trust interface. Alright. We mustn't dally here any longer, Jack. If Beck Luke is to hear the truth of our travails in the first, you of all people should be present. I should. Let's return to the ocular. We'll go for a little bit longer since I started so late. And since we only just really started the Shadowbringer stuff. I want to... We know the general thrust of the... We know the general thrust of what we're doing here. Dang it, stop. Hide. Dang it. No, I did the wrong thing there. Hang on. So many buttons to press. Where's my journal? Yeah, we got a general idea of what the thrust of the first part of this is with our extended Pokemon analogy, but let's see which direction it sends us in. Because this guy's not just going to go like, oh yeah, no, we can do that. We can do that. There you go. So.
I'm sorry. You mean to tell me not only that the return of night was your doing, but that you hail from another world as well?
Oh yeah, those things are true.
Everything we told you, of the source, the shards, the 7 umbral calamities, all of it is true. I realize how fantastical it sounds, and I would not blame you for doubting our testimony. But given your expertise, you must surely have noted the peculiar nature of their souls.
Any other time, and I would have dismissed your stories as balderdash and flummery.
Ah.
But upon closer inspection, 'tis plain their souls are far denser than is normal, and that they do not possess true bodies.
Flummery? What the hell is a flummery? A starch-based sweet soft dessert pudding, not desert pudding, known to have been popular in Britain and Ireland from the 17th to 19th centuries. Surely it's got a different definition. Meaningless or insincere. Oh, flattery or conventions. Or a sweet dish made with eggs, milk and sugar and flavourings. Okay, those are the two definitions of flummery. Neat. I like flowery, oldie British wordlets. Square Enix support is so odd, they sent me 2 answers to my account recovery request. The first one is the answer to my secret question. The second is an email saying they can't help me because I didn't give enough info. So the first one is they just gave you the answer to your secret question, which seems like terrible security. And the second one's saying, no. No wonder they get so many people hacking into the account. So they're just like, oh yeah, here's your secret question. It's like, you know what the secret in secret question stands for, right? You know what that means? I mean, I suppose it's good service if you're locked out, but at the same time, I had that with my bank though. I remember 2006. I went to Japan. 2006. I went to Japan. And I tried using my debit card, and it got locked out because it was like, oh, there's a transaction in Japan. You don't live in Japan. This is weird. So I had to call the bank up, and they were like asking me my security questions over the phone, and I, for the life of me, couldn't remember them. And they just let me kind of like, they were like, look, we really don't want to like cancel. We really want to sort your card out, so we need you to answer your security questions. We're pretty sure it's you, but we need you to answer your security questions. And I was like, just taking like random stabs at my questions, and they were sort of giving me like, they weren't going like warm, they were just making noises like and I was like, okay, so that's not close. Eventually I got in and got my card sorted, but it was just like, I don't feel necessarily that this is the best service, but at the moment it is to my benefit, so I will not complain. I did send the email that I was about to lose my FF14 house soon, so maybe the guy felt bad. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've worked in a bank call centre before, and it really does. If it's a pro tip for you, people in call centres, they get paid a lot. So, and you get what you pay for. So if you ever phone up a call centre and someone says to you, oh, I can't give you that information, just try calling them up a couple more times. You might get someone who's not as good as their job and might give you that information. There was a guy I worked with who just kept passing people through security, even if they failed their security questions, because he was too afraid of getting into an argument and failing them on their security questions. And they only found out when someone stole all of the money from someone's account, and they were like, well, we've looked into this, and we found out that they phoned up, and you gave them all this information, and they didn't get any of their security questions right. And they didn't even fire the guy. And I'll tell you why they didn't fire the guy, because he sold a lot of credit cards. And they were like, well, you did get this guy defrauded and get all of his money stolen, and you completely failed the test, but, oh man, you got like 70 credit cards last month, so, well, don't let it happen again, and good work. And then he got a job in a branch. So, yeah. Yes, or being polite to customer service always helps as well, because if you're polite, people will sometimes go out of the way to help you. Again, it depends on the person. But if you're impolite, they will absolutely do the least amount possible for you while still accomplishing their job. Like, I know that I did, because I was petty. Anyway.
Save you. Your body is your own.
So yeah, it helps to just ask different people because, apart from the else, some people just are wrong and they will give you the wrong information. And so if you just ask the same question to different people on different days, you'll get different answers.
And your soul is the densest of them all.
Ah, yeah, I'm dense. Wait, that's not a compliment.
As I said before, were it not for their heroism, the skies over Norvrant would still be awash with light, the realm yet at the mercy of FFXIV and the Sin Eaters. After all they have done for our home, seeing them safely back to their own, it seems the very least we can do.
You're right. And he just shoots him in the head. It's like, there you go, problem solved.
Your tale is intriguing. Yes, very intriguing indeed. Simply to hear it is fitting payment in itself.
Okay.
As for your friends, I can but agree. Their valorous deeds on behalf of Norvrant are deserving of recognition, of their own fitting payment.
You will help us then?
I will. I would see my knowledge put to good use for a change. I do have one condition, however. I am not the spry young Numo I once was. As such, I will require assistance in my fieldwork and testing.
We got nothing else
It
to
would
do.
be our pleasure. We'll be labouring for our own benefit after all.
Yeah. Oh, what, you want me to help too? Okay. Sure. You have spun quite a tale, but tell me, have you given any thought as to how you might return to your world? Oh, is Grauhar coming with us? I thought he was going to stay and look after the Crystal Tower. White Orosite, you say? An intriguing proposition, but one which fails to account for the present state of your souls. They have become highly charged, likely as a consequence of having maintained tangible forms for so long. In such an energetic, unstable state, there is no telling what may happen to their souls within the Orosite. They could very well become immutable to transference, never to be restored to their bodies. So we figured out the Pokemon that the signs would be, but what would their typings be? Well, as starters, I guess Y'shtola, Thancred, and Lys would be... Well, Lys is definitely a fire type because of the red. Thancred... Y'shtola and Thancred don't really seem like water and grass types, though. Although she did have a twig when we first met her. So I feel like she's a grass. She's a grass type that evolved into like a grass dark type. Now this is her third form. I don't think she has a new form after this. So when she started, she was definitely a grass type, which means Thancred would be a water type. Y'shtola is a sexy dommy mummy type. Is that? It's not a type, but it is also. It is and it isn't a type. It isn't an official type in battle. But there's definitely a category of Pokemon, of at least, I would say, 10 Pokemon that fit under that category. Easily. Yeah, I'd say 10. I think 10's generous. To Tataru would be normal. Like I said, she's the Rattata / Pidgey of the Final Fantasy XIV universe. Lise, I suppose, actually no. She starts as a fire type and becomes firefighting. She becomes a firefighting type. Y'shtola becomes grass dark. Thancred becomes, I guess, water normal because he loses his magic. I love the idea that a Pokemon evolves and gains a normal typing. Like, it's such a rubbish evolution. Oh, I hit the button with my leg. Did I actually? Or did it just time out? I didn't read Y'shtola's line. Lisa's Torch. She's basically any of the fire Pokemon starters that become firefighting, of which there are like 4, I think, at this point. But we'll go with Torchic. She's quite kicky. The twins, like I said, they're kind of the Pikachu, but they're not really they're not really electric types. So no, I guess they'd both be electric types because they're both the Pikachu of the world. They're like the not quite the poster. Y'shtola's more of a poster than Alice and Alphino, but they're the ones who get featured in the anime more prevalently. And then I guess Urianger would be like psychic type or something strong, given that he's kind of the faux legendary. What type would the Warrior of Light be? Because there isn't a light type. Weirdly, there is a dark type in Pokemon, but there isn't a light type. Psychic's about as close as you get. Or Fairy. I guess it'd be Fairy type. I think this is going without me, so I have to stop talking about Pokemon for a bit and read out the dialogue. They was on screen long enough that you could have read it. Well, that sounds ominous. What exactly would rendering our souls dormant entail? In order to maintain a corporeal form, your souls constantly draw ether from your surroundings. This process must be halted, and the resulting surfeit of ether removed. Your minds would ultimately be separated from these faux bodies of yours, rendering you incapable of interacting with the world around you. A cruel fate under normal circumstances, but one which will be rectified upon your return home. We're going to turn them into ghosts. They're all going to become ghost type. That's Minfilia. She's a ghost type. Leaving lifeless husks, like those poor souls with the inner journey's head, corrupted by the Sin Eaters, their ether made stagnant by the light. Corrupted? Stagnant? Might I see these unfortunate individuals? Why? Do you think you might be able to help them? Hey, welcome back, Demonic. We're just talking about which Pokemon types, well we were, but I had to read the dialogue because it kept going without me, which Pokemon types each of the Scions would be. I might, or I might not, but I shan't know for sure until I have seen their condition firsthand. Then I would be glad to take you to them, on the understanding that you won't do anything which might increase their suffering. It was my faith in man I lost, not my compassion. Well, I see no need for all of us to accompany you. While you escort our guests to the inn, I will assist Urianger in creating the requisite aura site. I believe my talents will be better applied to that endeavour as well. Might I leave the 3 of you to assist Beck Luke as necessary? Let us make for Amarang then. Man, it's gonna be like a real thorn in their side if it turns out that Beck could have healed these people all along. It's like, really? You could have just done this at any point. It's like, yeah, I just didn't. Poor Minfilia is past the ghost type stage. She's a dead ghost type. She's a ghost type that you can't see unless you've absolutely got a Sylph Scope. I know it's Demonic. Have a good sleep, and I shall see you next time. I'm not going too much longer myself, Because it's past 1 AM. I'll probably just do it to the end of this quest and then call it. Vector could have saved the world years ago. It was pouting alone in his castle. Exactly. I mean, it seems where it's pointing. So this is Halric, is it? Yes. His etheric balance leads perilously towards the light, towards stasis. What do you suppose will happen to him? Not too bright, are you, boy? The same as all poor souls corrupted by the light. He will become a sin-eater. You don't know that. We've defeated the Wardens and banished the light from the night sky. Halric was completely unresponsive before, but now... Now he twitches occasionally. See? And then perhaps there is hope yet. If I may, there is treatment I wish to administer to the patients. What sort of treatment? In the course of my studies of the soul, I once created a tonic which could temporarily stimulate the ether in one's body. After some refinement, it came to be used by the Knights of Vobert. Then, Vobert? I can't remember how that's pronounced. Then for darker purposes. Lest it fall into the wrong hands, I swore never again to make it. But for their sakes, I will break the oath. It is not like to reverse the stagnation, mind you, but it should offer some measure of relief. It's just like really powerful narcotics. It's like, yeah, it won't do them any good, but they'll at least have a nice trip. Todd stares blankly at you. It would seem the tonic has had no effect. Okay. And you get a Toll tonic. What is this warmth I feel in my chest? Okay, so... It works if they're not too far gone, I guess? If you play as a tank, you learn more about his potion. It's part of their quest. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought we were going to have to, like... craft it. And we just kind of had it and we were handing it out, so I feel warm. And my legs, they don't feel as heavy. Right, so the ones who aren't too far gone can be healed, but the rest of them are screwed. Todden is... Todden out of luck. That's... Yep, no, that's fine, that's fine. Now then, have you noted any change in the patients? A notable rise in body temperature and increased motor function, in most of the patients at least. The more severely afflicted show no response. As I feared then. 'Tis true that with the restoration of night, the corrupting influence of light will no longer grow, and yes, their bodies will naturally return to equilibrium given time. But this holds true only for their corporeal ether. Their incorporeal ether, that of the soul, is not so easily mended. Maybe we should get them like some soul music and some soul food. You know, I hear that those are both good for the soul. Which is why those in the later stages of corruption, like Halric, appear unaffected by your tonic. Precisely. Todd done with his jokes, not gonna lie. Okay, yours was better. The boy's soul is too far gone, his mind held together by the finest of threads. Should we just give him a good shake then, see what happens? There is a chance he may one day recover, of course, but it could take years, decades even. By the gods, he could wake to find himself an old man. A fine reward for his persistence, the opportunity to mourn the life he never had a chance to live. No, there must be something we can do. Look, I realise this is not why you petitioned your aid, but do you think it possible we can find a way to hasten their recovery? Maybe. Nor do I think it impossible that in treating them we might learn something of relevance to your own predicament. Here, have some roast beef. It's like, oh, ooh, king salmon. No, I have food. I don't need food. I pick salmon, though. That's just me being, oh, creamy salmon pasta. Oh. And that's just me hungry for salmon. Just mid-sentence. I like the idea that just mid-sentence, sometimes NPCs just were like, okay, here's 2 plates of roast beef. Now, when you've eaten that, we'll continue. And it's like, okay, fine. Alright, we'll call it there. I'm next to an Aetheryte, so I can get back to Beklug real quick, and we can pick this up next Friday. And we'll hopefully get a bit more done, because we won't have to do class quest or a event quest. I don't think there's an event starting in the next week, so we should be good. You're looking for a way to make a soul sleep, so having them awaken their sleeping souls would probably help, right? If we can wake them up, we can just make a reverse potion and then put the souls back to sleep again. That's how magic works. You just make it up. So yeah, I think we covered every typing, didn't we? Ishtola's grass, Thancred's water, Lys was fire type. Urianger is psychic. The twins are both electric. Minfilia's a ghost type. Tataru is a normal. Kryol is... oh, I don't know. What would Kryol be? She doesn't really do much. It doesn't make her normal as well. I can't really think of anything that Kryol does that makes her kind of typey. She has yellow fox ears, Dalfox. Now that's a fire type as well, though. We'll put a pin in Kryol. She's not a real scion anyway. And the Warrior of Light, for lack of a light type, is a fairy type. I feel like that's the closest typing for the Warrior of Light. Fairy steel. Yeah, we'll go with that. Let me make Kryol steel. There we go. Anyway, speaking of Pokemon, we will continue with Pokemon tomorrow. I will be continuing my playthrough of Infinite Fusion. I will be bringing Brock back. I have tweaked his AI slightly, so hopefully he's more amenable. I need to set up his singing voice. I might do that tonight before I go to sleep. Yeah, I need to set Brock up so that he's maybe a little less... I can't make him horny, unfortunately. That's beyond my power. The AI system won't let me do that. But I can at least make him less of a stick in the mud, I think. 2B or Riot. I mean, even if I wasn't doing the Nuzlocke, I'd still have to find the 2 Pokemon and I'm playing on a randomizer, so I can't promise anything. But if the opportunity comes up for 2B, we'll absolutely have 2B, I promise. I think I need Gardevoir and Clang or something like that. And I haven't seen either of them yet, so... but we'll get there. So yeah, if I see you then, I will see you then. Otherwise, I will see you when I see you. So, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for the assist again, Citratus, and yeah, thanks for the chat, and I shall see you next time. Have a good one.